Good morning, Artist Academy members. So we are starting our Art Talk Tuesday off again after a 2-week break, and I am so excited about it. So thank you guys for being so patient. I've been in Africa for the last 2.5 weeks, and I really thought that, looking back on it in hindsight, I really, it's kind of funny, but looking back, I actually thought that I was going to have enough, Wi-Fi or service to be on a live in Africa, but that was just not the case at all. So I was like, okay, we'll just, Laurence is on here. Let me get him on here. Approved. That's white. So that's why we're doing it a bit early this morning, because it is 2 p.m. his time and 8 a.m. my time. So that's kind of like our compromise on timing. So it says it is adding. Hi, Emily. We're doing Art Talk a little early this morning. Okay, Laurence, make sure your screen rotation lock is off, and just put your phone horizontal. Okay. Hi. Maria Brophy is on next week. If you want to be on with me next week, that would be great to ask her questions and all the stuff. Yeah, so Maria Brophy is on next week. Laurence, it still says it's adding you. Oh, dang it. No answer. Okay. Laurence, try adding it again. I should actually, from now on, I'm just going to make it mandatory that we do a test, like a test run. Okay. Let's see. Let me try to add you again. Nope. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Doing it again. Okay. Approved. Happy Tuesday, guys. Oh, it's connecting. It's working. Hello. Can you hear me?
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. Can you hear me okay?
Accents. I love when we talk to people who are not from the United States. You guys' accents are amazing. How are you today? So it's 2 p.m. there, right?
Yeah, it's 2 p.m. Well, just gone, but yeah, it's 2 p.m. over here.
That's awesome.
In
Okay.
England.
Well, if you could just start out by introducing yourself to maybe people who don't know you, maybe give us a little bit of a backstory, and then just kind of go into our first question of what was the tipping point that took you from hobby to professional artist. Just tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I am a TV producer over in the UK. And then on the side, I've been doing my art more and more. And so I've, fairly recently got into it, but kind of been doing it almost 8-9 months now. And because I work with a lot of celebrities and influencers and that kind of stuff, that's helped me then get my art out to the kind of people that I've wanted to get it to. And so it's kind of worked that it's meant I've got exposure, or quite a lot of exposure, which I otherwise wouldn't have got.
Wow. Okay. So like who? So wait, like Drake or like? Okay.
Yeah, I wish Drake is still pending, but I work in a lot of reality and entertainment TV, so the types of people that are on those shows are kind of the people that are buying and taking my artwork.
That is so cool. Yeah, you definitely have a niche in there. Okay, awesome. Cool. Okay, let's see. So, did you study art at? You guys call it uni, right? That's your thing.
Yeah, no. So I actually gave up art 10 years ago, and I was I studied up until college. So that's one before university over here, and so that was until I was about 18, and then it was kind of go to uni and get a proper degree as such, and so I went and did business and kind of gave art up, and it was, like I said, it was only recently that I kind of started doing it again, and it's kind of kicked on, 10 years on sort of thing. So no real like professional training apart from like teaching myself
Yeah,
at
very
school
cool.
and
Yeah,
college.
I really don't think you need a college degree to be an artist. I think some people have it, some people don't, but like, no. Yeah.
No.
Well, that is so cool. So what makes up your
Yeah.
typical workday? You mentioned that you're not like a full-time artist yet. So I'm curious, what makes up your typical workday? How do you fit in painting with a busy schedule? Because I know a lot of the members in here, they aren't full-time at all either. So like, what motivates you to work
Yeah.
after working?
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure it's that car. I'm sure at some point I'll get to the point where I might need to transition. But at the moment, my day is kind of get up, go to the gym, come back from the gym, do a little bit of art, a little bit of painting and stuff. Then kind of that will take me up till about 9 o'clock, and then I'm off to work. I'll go off. I'm currently working on a UK television program called Absolutely Ascot. So I'll go off at about 9 a.m. and we'll go and film that during the daytime, and then I'll come back in the evening and paint like basically all evening until around 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And so yeah, it's pretty jam-packed schedule.
That's
but
so
it's
cool.
working at the moment.
That's awesome. I admire your persistence in that. That is, and it sounds like it's paying off. So that's amazing.
Yeah, well, kind of.
Let's see. Can you talk us through your painting process? Are there any methods or techniques that you picked up through your years of experience or experimenting?
So, I mean, I don't like to dwell on it too much, but I'm dyslexic, so I kind of see stuff slightly differently. And so I've been told like the way that I paint is kind of like by numbers. So I'll put down, say, all the yellow colours across the canvas, and then on top of that I'll put like all the reds and then all the greens, and do it quite separately like that. And so I'll build the picture up, the whole picture up at one time, rather than just focusing on painting like an eye and making that look realistic, and then moving on to the nose and making that realistic.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Sense.
I feel like that, if anything, that gives you a little bit of organization, you know, like naturally. Wow.
Yeah. And it helps, well, for me anyway, it helps make sure that the colours across the painting are like similar. Does that make sense? Because otherwise, yeah, if you're maybe doing like an eye or something like that, then the eye might be a different colour to the other eye, or I don't know. But that's just
so cool.
how I do it. Anyway.
Thomas says that's like screen printing, kind of.
yeah, almost. So, and then I would typically put all the light colours on first, and then put like the blacks and the dark colours on, because using oil paint, if you put all the dark colours on first, it's really hard because it doesn't set, oil paint doesn't set for so long. Then all the blacks go into the white or the lighter colours, and it kind of all gets a bit messy.
Cool. Okay, so you do primarily oil paint.
Yeah, like pretty much, 90% of my work is oil paint.
So when you work on it in the morning, when you come back at night, it's still wet and ready.
Yeah, exactly, and then you can just keep working into the painting. After like a day or two, it becomes a bit too difficult to move, and then you're painting on top of the paint from before. Does that make sense?
Very cool. Let's see. What is the one thing you don't like to paint without?
The one thing I don't like to paint without, music on in the background. I think that it's good to kind of is it be in the zone, I would say, when you're doing it. And so I quite like a lot of like R&B, hip hop, that kind of thing, and so it's always nice to have that on in the background, and it makes things go quicker. And if you're kind of not sure if it's a bit weird to say, it's like when you're feeling the painting, it comes out better, if that makes sense, and when you're in a good mood and that kind of thing. So yeah, I would say
awesome. Yeah, mine is podcast. I have to hear people talking for some reason, so like really like
Really? Yeah, I really like Gary Vaynerchuk as well. I don't know if you know him, but he talks a lot of sense about social media, and especially for artists and stuff, the way he says to kind of put yourself out there is really interesting.
He for sure is, And I follow him on LinkedIn too, and just like his little like snippets about just business advice. I'm like, man, this guy knows his stuff. Like,
yeah, and he basically says content, which is why, for me, especially on my Instagram, but also on Twitter and Facebook, I literally put out as much content as I can, so that as many people see it as possible. And then from there, obviously, bits and pieces have arisen, like this interview. Do you know what I mean? Like, we wouldn't have seen each other otherwise, and good stuff seems to be happening from that.
Definitely. I was super excited that you reached out. You're actually one of the first that have actually reached out to be on it, and I was like, people see it. People are seeing it and wanting to be on it. I was like, this is awesome, and you were super cool. Like, I checked out your Instagram, and I'm like, like, let's chat.
Yeah, I think that that's what I'm trying to do. I don't. I see a lot of artists, especially on Instagram, they paint like lots of paintings and stuff. Whereas because I do have a day job and that kind of stuff, I don't have the time to paint during the day. And so what I'm trying to do is build a brand so that I'm painting less, but I'm more effective in terms of the people I'm reaching, and the prices you can charge, etc.
You're using Instagram. What other social media forms have you found that are working, or if any?
So I use Facebook and Twitter, but I must admit, kind of Instagram by far is the best one.
Yeah.
I don't know how you find it, but for me, it's definitely the best one. And when it gets to a big enough point, I definitely want to be able to do YouTube as well, just because I think as artists, it's the most visual platform. Do you know what I mean? And so I think those platforms which kind of you can see the work as much as possible.
Yeah, for sure. I have this like theory in the back of my head that YouTube is going to be like the next big thing. For some reason, I think it maybe Gary V maybe has like hinted towards it, and so maybe that's why I think it. But because like everything's going towards video lately, and I'm like, because like Instagram is great, but like I don't know, video is just like seems like it's taking over. So, but which is YouTube is a whole nother platform that I have not figured out yet.
Yeah. But I think it's difficult to as artists because. To do YouTube, it's difficult to like document the process when you just want to get on and paint the picture. But to do it properly, you'd need someone to like fully follow
you around with a camera. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. A little bit like Gary V. So that would be the ultimate goal, to be able to employ someone full time to do that.
Do you follow Sophie T? I think she's in London near you, kind of.
Not Sophie T, but I follow a guy called Timmy Sneaks, who is an American artist. Yeah, definitely. In terms of his video, he has a videographer as well that follows him around, similar to Gary V. And really good stuff. Sure. He sells his paintings.
Cool. Okay, I'll for sure check him out. Let's see. Are there any art lessons you've learned the hard way?
I think like where I'm still quite new, I'm still just trying stuff out. I think that I wouldn't say there was any particular lessons that I'd be like, oh yeah, you can learn from doing this. I think that you need to try stuff for yourself and see what works. And that's what I'm trying to do on my Instagram and stuff. Just see what is getting a good reaction. So, for example, the backgrounds on my paintings I used to do in colour. Now I just do them like a nice clean white so that it's a bit more modern. And I think that will definitely... what works for me won't work necessarily for you or anyone else, do you know what I mean? And you'll find your thing by just trying it and doing it.
Yes, very good, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Awesome. Yeah, I think we're all like in that experimenting phase, like even me, so David K, he commented, he goes, I love Timmy, so he knows that Tim artist. Yeah.
he knows.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite past project, like a favorite painting?
Definitely the painting that I did for Drake. The plan was to get it to him because he was over in London, but I didn't end up managing to get it to him at the time. So that's still, I still have the painting. I'm still trying to get it to him. So we'll have to see what see what happens with
Twitter,
that one.
The best way to reach celebrities? I've heard that. I really don't know. Or is it Instagram?
Just Instagram, really. Like I think that. I find that I just enjoy that platform the most. Saying that, when I tweeted a picture that I'd painted of Ice Cube, and he saw it, and posted it for me on his Instagram. So yeah, that was kind of mental. So yeah, Twitter does work as well, I guess.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are your future art plans and goals? What are your like upcoming projects? What painting are you working on right now?
So at the moment, I'm working on a painting of Leonardo DiCaprio in The Great Gatsby. So yeah, you'll see it on my Instagram if you go there. But I'm currently painting that for a guy who is on a reality TV show over in England called The Only Way Is Essex. And so that should be completed in the next like week or two. But yeah, the plan is to basically keep painting for celebrities and those types of people. So yeah, if anyone out there wants a painting who is a celeb, then yeah, let me know.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Let's see. Is there any advice that you would give aspiring artists who want to make art their full-time career but just don't know where to start? Like, where's a good starting point for someone who's really just a hobby artist right now and they want to be full-time?
Yeah, I've been asked that question a couple of times, and I'll always say like it's good to just do it. And so I'd start putting it out on social media. Obviously, you know Gary Vaynerchuk as well, like he's content. And so people will see your stuff if you put it out on social media platforms where there's organic reach, i.e. Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, that kind of thing. And so I would say start putting stuff out, and then you'll get a feel for kind of what people think of your work. And then from there you can adapt and change and that. But I think the main advice would be to just do it. I think that it's easy to, how do I say it? It's easy to not have the confidence to kind of go into it. And I think that stops a lot of people who could be amazing from doing it. And for me, who's kind of always been on the other side of the camera, behind the camera, now being in front of camera, doing this kind of stuff, it's scary, but when you kind of know where you're going, you kind of have to just push through it, and it's actually not that bad. So my advice would be just kind of do it, put your stuff out there, and people will say like negative stuff, they'll say positive stuff, but you just gotta get past all that.
Just do it, just get it out there. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it sounds a bit cheesy, but that kind of, it really is.
Yeah, no,
that really is it. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely is. I think sometimes we just need to hear that. You know, it's like just do it and then figure it out, because like nobody comes into the art world like there's no like plan. You know, there's no like art business university that we can go to either. You know, we just kind of have to put it out there.
Yeah, and like you said at the beginning, I don't think that you need to have gone to like art university and all this kind of stuff to be a good artist. You can be self-taught, and there's a lot of self-taught artists on Instagram and that are out there that are producing a lot better work than kind of these fine artists and whatnot, in my opinion anyway. I definitely think that social media has reduced that barrier to kind of being credible, because the audience, anyone who sees it, will say how good your work is. Do you know what I mean? Rather than like
definitely. And honest feedback. A lot of the people on Instagram, they'll tell you exactly.
Really honest.
Like, I remember one time I was wearing like dirty socks or something, and one guy would like totally call me out for it. I was like, come on, there's a cool painting here. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Which, by the way, your stuff's been amazing. I like where you're doing like the horns that are painted onto the wall and stuff. That's really cool.
Photo op art is one thing I found that like just like to get people to pose with my art is to like create photo op art, and they're almost sharing it with you. Let's see. We had one thing. Rebecca says literally just decided to freelance one day. No university in my past. So yeah, she gets it. Let's see.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that like as you put more and more stuff out there and people begin to buy your stuff, you know, I wouldn't say just quit your job and then start painting. It'll be a gradual process, which is why myself at the moment, you know, you're putting in the hours after work, before work, and then maybe one day, if I do decide to go that direction, then at least it's an option, rather than, you know, giving everything up to them. It may be maybe not working out.
Sure. Thomas says, an imagination. Is that what it says? An amalgamation. What word is that, Tom? of information is important, hence why Artist Academy is on. Oh, thanks, Thomas. Okay. Okay. Yeah, do you have anything else you want to add? Like any other advice for starting artists or anything? Really anything?
I think the only one bit of advice you need is social media is king. Social media is power. And so I think that, especially as artists, Instagram, there is no better platform at the moment. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to be consistent with it as well. And I think that those people, you know, that inbox me and stuff and ask, like, what is the answer and that kind of stuff. It is patience as well. Like, I feel like I'm only just getting started and I've been doing it for a little bit. But it will take time for people to slowly see your stuff, and I wouldn't get too wrapped up in having like 100,000 followers and all this kind of stuff. You just need to put your stuff out there, and if you work hard, and all a bit cliche, but yeah, if you do keep putting out your work on a regular basis, then
Yeah,
good things will
I
happen.
love it. Yeah, like patience, persistence, and painting. Yeah, so like all the 3 P's.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I love how you elaborated on a lot of things today, and it's just a really good reminder. And I think it, like, we're just starting our day over here, so I'm sure a lot of people, it's just a good way to just start the day. But yeah, wise words.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
No,
All
thank
right,
you for
well,
having me.
the podcast will be live in a week, and I'll send you an email. And yeah, have a great day. Thank you again.
No worries.